Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Terry. I am a full-time eBay seller, and today I would like to show you what I sold over the past couple of weeks. I haven't done a video for a couple weeks, so I'm just going to show you some of the items. So my first item is this clock. I believe it's from the early 1900s. Somebody put 1942 on the back, but then I also was researching this exact one and somebody else said that it was from 1919. So I'm not quite sure, but I picked it up last weekend at a garage sale for $10. This is a Seth Thomas. I just sold last month, I think it was, a Seth Thomas barometer and clock. They were just two round brass pieces sitting on a block of wood. And I think I ended up selling that for around $230 or $250. And so this one I picked up for $10, and this one sold for $125 very quickly. When I put it in the back of my car, it started chiming. So this doesn't have a key. And the arms do not go around, but when I manually had them go around, it started chiming. See? It's only going to chime once. It chimed a few times before, and I can hear when it does that, I can hear the pendulum going back and forth in there. So anyway, I just sold it for parts. But if you see a Seth Thomas clock, I would say pick it up. All the parts inside are very sought after. I do see on eBay people just selling the parts, the guts inside the clock. And so always keep your eyes open for the vintage Seth Thomas clocks and barometers. They will do really well and they sell very fast. I did go to a huge Star Wars estate sale last year, and I picked up a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it was pretty valuable, and then others were not as valuable. I picked up two huge bins of this type of Star Wars in the same year. They were just all a little bit different figures, and I picked them each up for $2.50. All of the real popular ones sold pretty fast, and I am still selling them though, but not for a lot. This one sold for $16, so not that great of a profit, but that's okay. They're super easy to list and ship. And then I also had sold this other Star Wars that I paid $2.50 for, and this one sold for $15. So I picked up a whole bunch of these wooden frames. Well, not a whole bunch. I mean, I think I got 6 or 7 of them, and these are the last two to sell. Not a huge profit because I really paid way more than I wanted to. I paid $4 each. These sold for $25 for both of them. And the company is Argento. So that's what the logo looks like. I love these frames. I do remember these. I think they're only from the 90s. But honestly, they sold really fast. Even though it wasn't much of a profit, they flew out of here. So I'm really excited that I took a chance and paid up for them, and they sold quickly. I purchased this Lord of the Rings at the Star Wars sale, and so this was not valuable. I paid $4 for it, and it only sold for $13.47. Here is another item that has been in my store for a very long time, probably 2 or 3 years. It's like a old style radio, but it's a reproduction. But it's still pretty old. I mean, I think it's from the early 90s, but it's not working that great. Somebody did get it for 30% off for $17.49. I did have in the listing that to read the description, the volume button is very touchy. So I did just sell it for parts. I mean, it does work. You could turn the radio on and hear it, but once you touch the dial, it starts crackling a little bit. But again, I am just so glad to get this old inventory out. You know, I was considering going through all my old inventory and just donating, but we have already put all that work into it. So if we could at least get our money back and make a little bit, so I made some money on this one, it would be worth it just to really drop the price and get it out. I will always pick up these beach balls and floaters if they're vintage from the 90s or before that, because they can go for hundreds of dollars. This is just a tiny ball. So I picked it up for $1 and it sold for $27. I picked this model airplane up at an estate sale with a whole bunch of other model airplanes. They're all die cast. Some of them sold immediately. I have made so much money off of them. And this one has just kind of been hanging around for a couple years. I paid $45 for this and it sold for $127.47. So they did get a sale on this in my eBay store for 15% off. Here is another item that somebody picked up on a 30% off sale in my store. This is a San Francisco Giants apron, and it comes with a mitt, a barbecuing mitt that looks like a glove. I paid $3 for it, and they ended up picking it up for $16. I picked up a whole bunch of Bratz dolls at an estate sale a couple years ago for $10 each. I think I ended up picking up around 40 of them. So I have done so well on those, and then there's still some left. So I paid $10 for this and it sold for $42.47. Always keep your eyes open for Bratz dolls. This is brand new in box chess set. I paid $3 for it and they picked it up for $21. And here is another Bratz doll that I also got at the same sale. I paid $10 for it. And this one sold for $76.49. And they picked this one up on sale at 15% off. So I definitely know that our sales that we are running is getting rid of all this old inventory, which is very exciting. Here is another item that somebody picked up on sale. It wasn't in my store very long, so they only got 10% off on this one. I paid $10 for this Barbie and it sold for $22.47. Here is a vintage Bible. It did not have the year in it, but I know it's probably from the 70s. I paid $1 for it and it sold for $15. Here is a vintage book. It is a ship and aircraft book that I paid $2 for and it sold for $25. I got this little Coleman cooler at an estate sale for $5 and it ended up selling for $36. It was new in box. It was in perfect condition and it was from the 1980s. If you haven't been watching me long enough, or maybe you have, you know that I also did a buyout a couple years ago at a hobby shop. It went out of business. I bought boxes and boxes of models and they were not vintage. They were pretty new. And then I also bought probably thousands of parts that go to trains and planes and remote control cars and things like that. And I don't mention these in my video, but I sell them every single day. So that buyout has been amazing. We have done so well on selling those. I probably have around $5 to $7 into this part because we kind of did a percentage on all of the parts and what we paid for them. And this one sold for $57. Some parts are only selling for $3 or $4, but usually they're in the range somewhere between $7 and $14. And then every once in a while, I'll have a part like this that sells for $57. Here's another Barbie. Look out for these Barbies in the pink boxes. I paid $10 for this one, and this one sold for $27. It might not be that great of a profit, but they are so easy to list when they're new in box like this. Here is one more part that I'm going to show you that I got from the hobby shop that I bought out. I have had these hanging around for a long time, and even though all the stuff I got from that hobby shop buyout was fairly new, because it was a retail store and the things in there weren't that old, although there were some things that were sitting around for 10 years or so, so those were starting to become more desirable. And all of these figures, I just lotted them up. The boxes were all dilapidated and they were missing just a couple pieces out of each one. So I just lotted them all together and somebody bought bought them all. So I probably have between $10 and $15 into this lot, and they sold for $79. So I sold 2 more of these naval books. And in my video where I sold some, I got a couple of corrections on how to pronounce it the right way, because it looks like it is pronounced boatswain, but it's actually pronounced bosun. And so there were a couple people who had said in my last video how to pronounce it. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I paid $1 each for these. So I have $2 into this, and this lot sold for $20. So this next item is a pack of Gillette razors. I don't know, I just saw them at an estate sale and figured that I could probably make a little money on them. I picked them up for $2 and they ended up selling for $31.47, and I think I've had them listed for less than a month. And I don't think they're vintage or anything. I just think somebody wanted a pack of Gillette razors. I picked up this set of Twilight books, brand new in package, never open, from an estate sale that I usually don't go to their estate sales because they're oops, looks like I just sold something, because they are usually kind of high in their prices. I went to her sale later on in the day because I was in that area, and she had some Department 56 and there were some really cool ones, but her prices were so high on her Department 56 and she would not budge on them at all. Her things are so high priced, but then she all of a sudden will have something that's really low. She had this set of Twilight books for $12 and it ended up selling for $80. So I'm not sure where she's getting her prices from and why she didn't have this book set priced real high. Let me show you this last item and then I will let you know what's going on with my models and where we're at with those. And then this last item is this book set, the Delphian Course. I think I'm saying that right. I picked this book set up for $20 and it sold for $180. I absolutely love selling books, and so keep your eyes open, especially for old book sets. Our models are doing really well. So these are the ones that I have sold over the weekend that have not shipped out yet. So I'm going to give you totals starting from the 6th of July because I did my last video the day after 4th of July. So from the day after that until today, I will give you totals and where my sales are on all of these models. So the total of these that I need to ship out today is $306.78 worth of models. And there are 16 of them. And the ones that I've already shipped out from the July 6th, there were 45. And that total was $838.05. That was a total of 61 models that we shipped out since my last video. And the total on all of that is $1,126.80. And then here is another graph that I'm going to show you that explains how our sales are doing. So to date, we have sold 228 models, and we actively have listed 670 models. So I'm pretty sure that right now we have about 2/3 of our models listed, and we still have another third to list. And then after that, we still have other things to list, like decals and books and things like that that came with this whole lot that I bought. We have sold in a dollar value $4,963 worth of models, and we paid $4,000 for the whole lot of everything. So we are finally in the profit now, and it's been 3 months, so I'm pretty excited about that we got our money back and we are making money now. We have right now listed currently $15,426 worth of listed inventory. And like I said, we still have about another third of the models to list. I have a feeling after a year or two has gone by that there will be some models that just are not selling. So at that point, we will probably look at our inventory and maybe lot a whole bunch of those together and list them as lots, either sell them locally or just list them on eBay in bigger lots for a better dollar value so that we don't have a whole bunch hanging around more than 2 years. But so far, they're selling really well because they are all vintage and you can't buy these anymore. Our repeat customers are through the roof. Some people come back 3 or 4, 5 times and buy a couple more here and there. So it has been a lot of fun. So I think that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up, of course, and subscribe. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And also, if you want to be notified for my next video, just hit that bell and it'll do a little notification on your phone. I appreciate it, and I will see you on my next video.